Welcome to the Insurance Brokers Podcast, Helpful Hints. Here we break down the best, most informative bits of our full-length interviews.
Okay, so I'm an insurance broker, an MGA, an insurer, and I've pivoted. And the quote you just said there was absolutely fabulous in terms of, have I got a big project that's got significant spend in which there's been some uncertainty? If the answer is yes, and you're listening, then speak to Justine, because happy days, potentially. But this is the reason I wanted to talk to you is because I actually think this is much, much wider, or should be much, much wider. Me as an insurance broker, yes, there may be some benefit to me, but even more than that, sort of the world in which we live in now is you need really to provide an all-round business solution to your clients. There's a lot more of this kind of talk coming out, and I'm sure everybody's heard it. So actually, if you are to sit with your client at renewal and talk to them about how they've pivoted in during COVID, what projects they've had to undertake to see, you could be in a position to be saying to your client, and you don't need to know that much, do you? I actually think you should have a conversation with somebody like Justine, because you could be due a relatively large tax rebate, which in the current climate, SMEs, the 6 million SMEs you've just spoken about, I don't think there's many that would go, oh, no, not today, thanks. So talk to me a little bit about that. And if you can, you've given some great examples, some more examples about things that have you seen recently happening in this market.
Yeah, so I mean, as I say, the actual amount that you can claim back is actually up to 33 pence in the pound for additional spend. So keeping the maths easy, let's imagine that somebody spent £100,000 on a project of qualifying expenditure. They can claim that 100,000 back in the normal way through their account. But in addition to that, they will be rewarded up to another £33,000, so another 33 pence in every pound that's spent on R&D qualifying activity. Now, of course, there's lots of there's more depth, and I won't go into the merits of the scheme, but that equates to the average claim in the UK being £52,000. Now we can go back to accounting periods. So in essence, a business that's undertaking qualifying expenditure that qualifies on average will be making a claim of £52,000 per year going back 2 years, so would receive potentially a benefit of £104,000. That's not means tested, and that's something that people are entitled to. And given the numbers that we kind of talked about earlier, I'm sure you'll agree, there's a lot of people who aren't claiming their, cash potentially or a tax benefit that they're entitled to.
And for the sake of a 15-minute conversation to ascertain whether you are qualifiable, brand new word there, then why would you not? And I also think that this might be relevant to introduce the fact that you work with partners. You've got accountancy partners, but you work with insurance brokers as partners as well, don't you, in terms of any referrals made from their client base?
Absolutely. So, the broker market is unique in the way that the relationship that brokers will have with their clients, they will have a very good insight into the kind of development work that the clients have been working on, because accountants will always work historically, whereas brokers are about the here and now, and they'll be talking to them about the risk of product failure, manufacturing processes, any risk they'll need to cover. So brokers have a really good insight into clients' businesses, and we found that actually if going through a kind of client review with a broker is really fruitful, because they understand their clients and they have a really good kind of depth of knowledge around their client's business and their operations. What's also worthy of note, Sarah, that I didn't say actually, is if a company is loss making, they can also make a claim. So they can either surrender the loss for a cash payment from the revenue, or they can carry those losses forward. So quite often the kind of techie businesses or pharma businesses, a lot of these businesses won't make money for a number of years when they first start off, but they will be investing and putting money into R&D projects, so they don't lose that money in there. They can claim that back.